Hey, Raptor Freaks, Alexiot's here live, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Wednesday and it's Wildcard Wednesday, and I decided to do something today on Raptors Uprising GC, which is Raptors Uprising Gaming Club. It's our esports team that is affiliated with the Toronto Raptors and the esports league for the 2K. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because last night on Scotty's Twitch, one of the main players on the Raptors GC played about a couple hours of NBA 2K23 with Scotty, and it was actually quite impressive. Good morning, Guardian Transit. Good to see you this morning. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know much about the esports and stuff like that. You may varying degrees of y'all may have different knowledge of it and stuff like that. It's basically a video game league where there's these guys are professional video game players, and they literally get drafted and picked on different teams. And there's a bunch of teams in the NBA, like affiliated with the NBA. That there's a Knicks team, there's a Celtics team, there's a Nets team, there's a Sixers team, Cavs, Pistons, Bucks, T Wolves, Pacers. You know, Magic, Heat, Hawks, Grizz, Jazz, Blazers, Kings, Warriors, Lakers. They all have an esports team just like the Toronto Uprising. And basically, it's a very small team of a couple of guys. Usually, there may be girls playing, I don't know, in different places. And they play the video games against each other and compete. And it's a real season, and there's champion and stuff like that. And these guys are really, really good. I have to tell you, from watching Fanta is the name of the team member that was playing with Scotty last night. Fanta season. He is really good. Like it was amazing some of the stuff he was doing in the NBA 2K23 last night in Scotty's game. This dude had a very crazy shot, like that was very, very deadly. He made almost every single one he took. And he was all about like passing the ball to Scotty in the video game and setting him up for easy baskets and stuff. Like he wanted to get a lot of assists, Fanta. But it was cool. He just showed up in Scotty's chat all of a sudden and said, "Hey, Scotty, what's going on?" And Scotty's like, "Oh, hey, Fanta, let's play." And they linked up and they did a rec room, which is 5-on-5 with refs and rules. It's a little bit different. There's different places you can play on NBA 2K23, and they were in the rec. And that means it's a pretty standard like game where you have 5-on-5, you have 5 positions. So you need to have your stuff together, because if you don't, you can play a team that comes in there with the squad that's practiced with each other and played a lot together. And that chemistry will kill you, even if you're very good. Just if you could have one really good player on the team, but the other team's working more like a team, they will beat you. And it was very interesting to hear Fanta playing with Scotty and Lloyd and John and Nick. Nick was the other person playing with them last night. So Scotty had his regular dudes, Lloyd, Nick, and John, his brother, and Fanta playing with him. And Fanta was really being a floor leader, like really calling out stuff, like go this way, do this play, do this cut, do this back door, and I'll find you and stuff like that. And he was very, very good floor leader, just telling the guys, kind of organizing things and stuff like that. You could tell that his role on the esports team, Raptors Uprising, is very much a leader and somebody who's like, because he was right on point. Like this dude is a real video game professional. Watching Fantasy Season last night play with Scotty made me realize there are levels to this, and that this dude is another level than the average video game player and stuff like that. Very cool stuff to see. Good morning, Tom Duke. Crazy how popular these guys get playing video games. Yeah, Durrani and I are Lloyd's biggest fans. I'm there too. I mean, I'm subbed up here, there, and I've watched them too a bit. But yeah, you were very much big fan of Lloyd's last night, Tom Duke. We had a big Raptor Freak contingency in the chat last night with Scotty's Twitch. Cool Cat, Shane Waters, Tom Duke, Isaac Campbell, all in attendance last night watching Scotty for about 3 hours. He jumped on around just after 9 and played till about 12:30 last night. And yeah, it was fun. It was interesting. I mean, there was some BS kind of things going on. There was one particular Heat fan that was really ruining the chat in a lot of different ways. I was wondering why they weren't kicking him out or anything like that. So I just kind of took it upon myself to just mute him. Like he was really annoying. And I don't know how you were putting up with him, Tom. I know that at one point Tom switched from Scotty's stream to watch them play on Lloyd's. just so he didn't have to listen to this Heat fan. And I'll tell you, this Heat fan is pretty typical of a lot of Heat fans down there. They're very cocky, arrogant, talk a lot of trash, just toxic kind of people. And yeah, it was very, very annoying. I was wondering why they weren't kicking him out or doing something about him. It was kind of annoying because I even said to Scott, this dude's toxic and he's in here. And he didn't say, I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing. And I'm like, the dude is pretty much slamming Toronto left and right with every comment, the things he's saying. And talking a lot of trash about our country, Scotty, saying bad things about Canada and talking trash to, like, he even said some bad things about you, Scotty. So if you do review my stream later, you'll know that he was in there bad mouthing you. He was. You didn't catch it. Let's see. Tom saying there's always a toxic goof in the chat. So annoying. Yeah. He was very annoying, this guy. And like I said, I was engaging with him at first, but then I was like, you know what? These kind of dudes are just annoying, and I just muted him, and that really worked. The stream was a lot better once I didn't see his comments anymore. Let's see. I'm a fun guy's here. Notification on, baby. Still got here late. It's all good. I mean, you don't need the notification. Just know it's 9:30, fun guy. I will be here right at 9:30. Tom Duke saying, morning, fun guy. Let's go. Guardian Transit saying, sounds like Sixers fans. Yeah, Sixers fans are actually kind of cooler than Heat fans in some ways. Like I was trying to tell this Heat fan, is like, your team's getting older. You have an older team. The Heat look very old this year, and you lost all your power forwards. So it's like, good luck playing Division 6-9 of the Toronto Raptors this year with no Morris brother and no PJ Tucker running around to help you do the muscle this year, Miami Heat fans. So yeah, feel real good about your team, but I honestly think y'all are sliding this year. Yeah, you're going to slide a little bit in the standings. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, I like a debate versus other fans, but people resort to suck my dick, and such is no fun. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is probably a very childish person. You got to understand, I went to Florida State, and there were a lot of people from Miami that would come up and go to school at Florida State, and they were assholes. Like, a lot of them were very cocky, very self-entitled kind of people. And this is that kind of behavior from that area of the country, particular down in South Florida. Let's see. Good morning, Monique. Good to see you, Monique. Let's see. Fun guy saying, surprisingly, Sixer fans are quite friendly online, but hostile in games in general. yeah, that's actually a pretty good description of it all there, fun guy. I would say that that's pretty true. We found that Sixer fans can be very cool on here. We've had a lot of good Sixer fans on the stream here, but yeah, not very many Miami fans online. They're very good. They're actually real. Yeah, they're jerks, man. Guardian Transit saying, hate the degrading from Heat fans on my man Kalo. Yeah, they're gonna bash Kyle Lowry. They really don't appreciate him like we do in Toronto, and they don't honor him in the same kind of way, or like, really respect him. And that's too bad for Kyle. I mean, Kyle may not care to a degree. He's getting paid. He's in the South and can play golf all year round. And his kids can wear shorts every day, as he put it. So these are important things to him. He probably doesn't really give a fuck what any of the Miami Heat fans really think about him. Let's see. Tom saying, Guardian, exactly. Lowry, Hero, etc. They all get the same treatment. That's what I'm saying. And this is part of the reason why we have founded and established the Raptor Freak cult, because we can see that fan bases can become very, very toxic towards their team, and in fact be a detriment to their team. Just ask the New York Knicks, just ask the Philadelphia 76ers, that the fans can be part of the problem for why they're not doing well. In fact, I was thinking about this the other day, that New York players have so much pressure on them. If you come and play for the Knicks, they are really, really wanting you to be the savior. And there's nobody coming to save them in different ways. Stuff like this stuff that RJ Barrett has to deal with in New York, with the New York press and the expectations, the microscope is not fun. And in a way that compounds the failure, that it's so hard to overcome all that pressure that you are destined to fail. And that is partly all the pressure put on by the fan base and the way it is and the way it acts. Now, Miami fan base can really love and cherish and worship their players, but they can also very much turn on them and be very vicious and poisonous towards their players also. And this is what we're talking about right here, the stuff with Lowry. David, good morning. Good to see you, David. I'm glad to see Peter join the fantasy league yesterday. We have 12 teams. There's 8 spots left. If you want to play fantasy basketball with the Raptor Freak Cult this year, there's a link in this stream. You just click that link and go there and set up your team. There's still some time. The draft is this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, if you want to play, it's a beginner's league. There will be a prize. So we are playing for something. But yeah, it's just going to be a fun, casual fantasy basketball league this year. So I encourage anybody who hasn't joined already this year and they would like to go ahead and do it today, because we're not going to have that much time to get more teams in there, and the time's running out. Nako's saying Sixers fans seem pretty level-headed from what I've seen. Lakers fans are 50-50. Lakers fans are a lot like Miami fans. They're just as stupid and toxic and crazy too, and cocky. There's something about being cocky, about living in a beach kind of city that's in a hot place. Like Miami and LA kind of similar kind of places in that way. And yeah, they have a certain kind of swagger that's annoying and stuff like that. They both do, trust me. There's some older Laker fans that have respect for the game and that aren't cocky, that are probably from like the Showtime era or even before, like with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, that are great people. But a lot of the younger Laker fans are absolute crap. They're toxic and they're jerks. It's really the older Laker fans that I have a lot of respect for, the people that were around in the 80s and the 90s, and not so much the people that were around for the Shaq Kobe years and the more recent years. They're not as Chicago fans are pretty all right. Chicago fans are pretty similar to us, actually. They were very cocky in the 90s, obviously, and a little bit overbearing at that point, but they've lost all that kind of braggadocio that they had with Jordan on their team. That is kind of different. They're a lot more realistic and not as like crazy and mean and stuff like that. So let's see. Guardian Transit saying that's why I love the Raps. They have a solid foundation, great team bonding with few internal issues. Yeah, I'm really excited about this season and stuff like that coming up and stuff like that. Let's see. David saying, oh, wait, by the way, that other David's team is not me. Peter and I are just going to do one team. That is not you in the league. You're lying. That's got to be you, David. Come on. You're messing with me right now. I know you are. No, really? This is another David? Really? Okay, well, I'll have to know which David this is. I thought that was you. You guys are going to run one team together? All right. Do it how you want to. Monique saying Scotty reaction to LeBron video. Laughing my ass off. Okay, I'm glad Monique brought this up. Scotty posted a video yesterday. He already took it down, of reacting to LeBron rapping. There's a clip of him like kind of doing some funny stuff. And Scotty thinks that LeBron James is the funniest player in the NBA. And this isn't a disrespect or anything, but it could be seen as being a little bit of spark to a fire and get out of control. And there were some issues with that YouTube clip that he posted yesterday. There's a couple of things that were kind of like, a lot of people that are stupid would watch it and think that Scotty's making fun of LeBron and maybe like start something bigger than what it was. And there were people in the comments saying it. It's like, you can't disrespect LeBron like this. You can't disrespect LeBron like this. This guy's like, I'm not disrespecting him. He's being funny. He's supposed to be funny. He points to one of the comments saying, this is had me dying laughing. So it's like, how is it that he can't enjoy LeBron being funny on a YouTube clip and not get crap for it? Like, he respects and honors and really likes LeBron. And it's not like he's doing it to diss him. Well, any kind of gray area where it may be interpreted that way, he's like, okay, now we just got to take it down. And I think that's really is what happened. Not to mention, I don't know if they actually like watch it all the way through over and over again a couple times before they post it, because there's a lot of comments from people like me, not me specifically, but people that are in there that are chatting and putting in comments in there that get put on the clip that you can read later. And some of the people were not saying nice things about LeBron in there. They're calling him LeBum and Le Disney and all this kind of stuff like that. And Scotty was getting mad at them for dissing LeBron in the chat, but it was also in the clip that he posted on YouTube. And then on top of that, Tom Duke came messaging me yesterday all of a sudden that there's a scammer on Scotty's YouTube channel, putting in all these comments. It's a normal scammer, but the thing is, they made an account that looked a lot like Scotty's YouTube channel, and they were telling people that they won an award if they called them or messaged them or something like that. And Tom talked to them on the phone, and he said that the person sounded really sketchy and wanted them to send him money. And Tom, I hope you didn't send them any money or anything like that. But there was a problem with scam comments in his YouTube post where they were acting like they were affiliated with Scotty's channel and that you'd won on a prize and stuff like that. That was a problem also yesterday. So be aware of scammers just in general. Like, this is good to have anyways. Like, there's a lot of this going on right now. And you always have to be on your toes with people who are trying to scam you through online, whether it's in comments or emails or whatever they're doing and stuff like that. But that was interesting that Tom brought that up to me. And yeah, he had to take that video down because, listen, as much as fun as it was, and like, it's kind of a really short clip, and he didn't want to show his face on the video when he's laughing at LeBron. He's literally down low like this. And that was by purpose, because he didn't want people to clip it. So, but then he goes ahead and clips it out and puts it up on his YouTube. Well, it didn't last that long. It was up for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and they took it right down. And I don't know if they're going to put it back up, because it's just a can of worms you just don't want to open up, Scotty. As much fun as that, as much as you think it's a good idea to do that, you don't want to feed any fire to anything like between you and LeBron in games in this season, and also with their fan nation. Like, LeBron fans are crazy in some ways, and they'll take that as a slight. They took your comment about the fan of him dick eating as a real slight. So why wouldn't they take this as a slight also? So maybe it was just really smart to just take down the clip like you guys did, which is really, really smart, I think, in some ways. Although it was an entertaining clip. I saw it a couple times, and it's too bad it can't be up. And I understand why Scotty thinks it should be fine and should be up, and that he would plead his case that he loves LeBron. He's not dissing him. But LeBron fans would definitely take that video as you dissing him, stuff like that, because you're basically laughing at him, even though he is being funny. Yabba dabba doo, all that kind of stuff. It's hilarious. But Fun Guy saying Lakers, Heat, Cleveland fans are the worst, and it's all related to LeBron having played for those franchises. You know what? Listen. Fun Guy, I am not going to disagree with this. You are exactly right that he gives them kind of a cocky clout that makes them feel like the dude last night in the chat was just going on and on about LeBronto and how the Raptors have never gotten LeBron back and saying all this trash talk. And I was like, man, come on, y'all, just get rid of him, Lloyd. Just get rid of him, Scotty. And he's like, I don't see anything wrong with it. In fact, it was kind of bugging me that he was a Heat fan and Scotty was allowing it. And I don't want to read into that too much. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There were some weird vibes about that particular Heat fan being in the chat. And then also just how things weren't getting handled with him, that he was allowed to just hang out and just continue to run at the mouth and say stupid shit the whole stream. And he was saying stuff like, Scotty, don't talk like you're Canadian. Stop saying shit like you're trash from up there. That's the kind of shit he was saying in the chat and stuff like that. So, Scotty, got to get better mods, seriously. And seriously, I don't like this dude coming in here soliciting you and saying you're going to be on Miami Heat in 3 or 4 years and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's bullshit. You shouldn't be letting that stand come in there. All right, let's see. Guardian Transit saying, yeah, Lakers fans, goofy surfers, remembering all the old movies, laugh out loud, giving up my senior citizen timeline. Guardian Transit, we got to think about Fletch. Fletch from the movies. Chevy Chase was a Laker fan. He had the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jersey. He's a cool kind of surfer, stoner, kind of like old school Laker kind of fan from back in the day. Jack Nicholson kind of vibe and stuff like that. I used to really love Laker Nation. Their fan nation was pretty cool. But now, since they're not as good in recent decades, they have gotten a little delusional and a little bit too cocky for what they've achieved. I understand they got a chip in the bubble, but still, come on, we have to count that seriously in a lot of ways. Okay, so David really isn't that dude. That is weird. I'm gonna have to figure out who that is. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying he knew it was a scam. I just worried because it was a good scam, a good mimic account. Yeah, that's really what it was. It was a mimic account that used the same picture from his YouTube channel in the picture. And I'm sure they'll get on it and they'll nail this guy and they'll stop him from doing this. So yeah, this is really bad. Monique saying Thad is officially in Toronto from last night. Yeah, we're seeing Raptors showing up. I said Thad took a jet up here and he's back in the six. Love to see that. A lot of these guys are back. Like I said, today, in about an hour or so at 229 Richmond Street West, Fred Van Vliet will be out in public with his podcast, the one that does covers BIPOC entrepreneurship. He's going to be doing a thing today this afternoon. So if you guys want to go see Freddie, you can go see him today down on Richmond Street, 229 West. Is where he's at today. G saying Cavs fans have been the most toxic. Yeah, Cavs fans feel like they got a lot of weight to throw around right now and stuff like that. I don't know. Listen, whatever. They can say what they want about LeBron and stuff. We won a championship available. I mean, we won a championship finally when he went west and stuff like that. So we are champions and stuff like that. Although there was something that was said last night once again that really disappointed me. We're talking about the Raptors championship over the Golden State Warriors. And Scotty actually said he thought that the Raptors wouldn't have won if Kevin hadn't got hurt. I hate hearing that when like he's holding that line from other places where people say that and stuff like that. You know, I personally think the Raptors were a team of destiny in 2019, and it didn't matter who was in between Kawhi and Larry O'Brien. He was going to go through them. And I don't like hearing that Scotty said that and thinks that you know what, if Kevin had been healthy, Golden State would have won that series. I hate hearing that because in some ways that reflects something that he thinks about Pascal and Fred. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let's see. Fun guy saying you should be a Scotty mod, bro. I was almost a Scotty mod. He would have made me a mod early on, but he couldn't figure out how to do it. They were going to do it, but they didn't. And he doesn't know how to make people mods, I don't think, on there. In fact, he has a hard time making his friends who are like in his group, in his Discord, mods sometimes and stuff like that. I don't know. Either way, I don't necessarily need that responsibility, but I would do it if he bestowed it on me. I would definitely do it, and I do a good job. That's for sure. So still talking about the Raptors uprising. I want to really talk about this video game team. Like basically, it's like a 5 or 6 man team of these young guys, and they get to live in a condo. This is what Fanta was telling Scotty last night. They live in a condo in Liberty Village, and they get their own room and board paid, and they're professional video game players for the summer. They're here, and their season just ended, actually. Milwaukee's gaming team won the championship this year, Milwaukee Bucks. And, you know, the Raptors uprising did not do that well this year as far as in the playoffs. And they didn't even make the playoffs. They were kind of a team down below. But it's pretty cool that these guys have a career where they get paid to play the video game and have a condo down at Liberty Village and all this kind of stuff. So I was, you know, trying to learn as much as I could about this league because I don't really pay attention to this at all. I really haven't but I feel like last night with Fanta showing up and hanging out with Scotty, this is a good time to talk about it. So it started in May 2018 with 17 players, each affiliated with an NBA team. But since then, the league has expanded to 24 teams, which all of them, except for 2 of them, are affiliated with NBA teams. They actually have a team out of Shanghai and a team out of Mexico in the league also. So very interesting. I'm sure the format and the way they run the league and stuff like that is very different. It would take a lot of time to get into it and see exactly how it all works and scoring and stuff like that. But really interesting kind of stuff. Guardian saying Raps had their own list of injuries in the finals. Yeah, nobody wants to conveniently say that. And once again, every single year, teams deal with injuries in the finals, and they could asterisk every single season. But like I said, I didn't like hearing that directly from Scotty's mouth. But of course, we got to remember he wasn't a Raptor at that time. So when he saw that all go down, he was seeing it from the lens of the NBA media down there and what they were saying and what they imprinted that on him. That's not necessarily what he was influenced by the media to probably think that. And other people saying, like Draymond saying it to Fred Van Vliet in that podcast this past year, straight to his face. And, it's rude in some ways. It is what it is. And nobody should cheapen the Raptors championship, considering how much they have to overcome within the NBA structure to even get near it. And then they did win it against the team that had won 2 years in a row before that. So let's see. Monique saying, I think we should highlight Giants of Africa more. Yeah, okay. I could do something more about that at some point. Like maybe when they have something else going on, and I'll do more research on what Masai's doing specifically, and maybe I can come back with a report on that and stuff like that. Maybe that'd be a good Sunday report or something like that. If I don't get to it before the season starts, Monique, this could be definitely something that I do big time in the off season for next year and stuff like that, especially when it's right around when he's doing a lot of the things for that stuff. So Fanta season really seems like a team leader on this team. He's from San Francisco, and he said that like this is what they do. They're here for the summer, and then when they're done, they're off. He's pretty much done for the season now, so they take off, and they're not here in Toronto during the winter apparently. But yeah, they have their own Twitches and Instagrams and stuff like that. So if you're really interested in the Raptors Uprising Gaming Club, there's a lot of interesting information out there, and you can follow them on Twitch and actually see them play yourself and stuff like that. Very cool. Let's see what else you guys are saying. G saying Golden State Warriors won rings when Kawhi, Kyrie, Love, CP were injured, and Bucks when Kyrie went down. Lakers when Butler and Bam were injured. Why is it always our ring that injuries are highlighted? Yeah, I think part of it is just part of the way they want to have some ammunition to slide it. At this point, a lot like people say, oh, we cheered when Kevin got hurt. We just own this and say, okay, you believe that. Well, we won anyway, motherfucker. So you go ahead and believe that this would have happened, this would have, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It happened the way it did. And that Larry O'Brien came to Toronto in 2019, no matter what you want to say. And if you want to say that, okay, we'll turn around and just say it this way about this championship or this year and stuff like that, this championship, stuff like that. Monique's got something about the team players. Kenny Haley is a good friend of mine. Been here the longest. Raptors go all the way. Yeah, Kenny got game. Kenny got work. That's his name. Kenny got work. He's been on the team the longest, I believe, and they had like a kind of a change of the guard on the Raptors uprising team. That they had a lot of established players from a couple of years ago that were on the team, and they just switched them out. And Fanta is kind of one of the new players, and Kenny is one of the only holdovers from the old core of this video gaming team and stuff like that. So that's cool that he's your friend, Monique. And I know that I've seen you talk about them on your social media before and that you do have a connection with them. So it's very cool that you're friends with Kenny and stuff like that. Kenny got work. Tom Duke saying that is wild about Fanta and his crew. What a world we live in. Yeah, I mean, you saw how he was playing last night, Tom. That dude was good. Like he did little moves. Like you can really tell that he can control the controller and really know what he's doing. Like sometimes people play video games, they're just mashing buttons and hitting the joysticks, and they're not really under control. But this dude is very precise with his control and stuff like that. And it was really cool how he's threading the needle, kind of calling the play through the microphone. You could hear him talking to Scotty and saying, go this way, make this cut. Boom, beautiful stuff. And then when he would try and get his own shot, it was really cool how he would shake the other defender. Like he would have some sort of crazy move that if it was done in real life with a real basketball player, we would all be like jaws dropping because it was just sensational. And like I said, I could maybe count maybe 3 shots that I saw him miss the whole time he was playing with Scotty, which was like 3 full rec games. I think I saw him miss 3 times in 3 games. So that was really impressive and made me understand that these guys they're not athletes in a physical way, but they are athletes as far as like with the hand-eye coordination and the thinking and the strategy and the team play and all that kind of stuff. It's a very legitimate thing. And it's interesting how how it's getting bigger and bigger and stuff like that. So Tom Dukes, let's see, Monique saying Raptors GC. Kenny was the MVP his second year. Yeah, Kenny got work. Good team, good stuff. All right, let's keep moving on some of the news. Right now, there's a clip up on Bleacher Report of Drake, and Drake is bombing. Is bombing. That's right. Drake is getting all kinds of crazy open shots and just making all of them. I don't know where this is or where they are and who he's playing with, but Drake, there's some new footage of Drake absolutely balling out on a court. He's got such a badass court at his place at Bridle Path. I would expect him to be a very good shooter and basketball player. If he has off time and he just goes in there and he just gets to shoot whenever he wants, I'm sure Drake's a pretty good baller. He's for real in some ways. Let's see what else is in my news today. All right, the Celtics have waived former Raptor Bruno Caboclo. That was probably expected. I mean, this is how he is. Like he's been going around from like Houston to Orlando to Boston, all over the different places and stuff like that. And it's just too bad that Bruno never really found that 2 years from being 2 years away. It's like, what has it been now? Almost 10 years. And he can't make the Celtics roster going into the season. That's too bad. But I wish you luck, Bruno. And I'm sure you'll be doing big things down south, no matter what, even if you don't do anything in the NBA this year. Let's see. Tom Duke said, I just looked out of curiosity like a train wreck. Aiden had 75,000 fans watching him last night. 75,000 weirdos. Well, that's the thing. Aiden, this is the thing. Some of these guys get viral and they just blow up and because they hit like this sweet spot, this sweet note that like people really get into, and then it catches fire, and then it's almost like, what it's like, Tom. It's like when you're at school and somebody gets some sort of item, like it's maybe a bracelet, and everybody's wearing them all of a sudden, a friendship bracelet. So everybody has to go get them. Well, that's the kind of thing with these like viral streamers and Twitch people, is that somebody sees them and they get into them, and then like it catches fire because everybody wants to be cool and watch them. And that's a lot of that. What is happening with Aiden? Yeah, Aiden's interesting. I mean, listen, he's not totally horrible. I mean, they're weird. They're weird. I've learned more about him and stuff like that. The sexual stuff comes from a kind of an honest place in a way. And also, it kind of is in some ways cutting edge. I mean, I get it. These young people want to explore like sexual identity in different ways, whether being bisexual or being pan or being whatever they're into or what they're interested or they identify as. And that's what I'm saying. The young people may really see him as a hero for being so openly out. And, I know they're joking, but apparently they're bisexual. So they're not totally joking with some of the stuff they were saying to Scotty Barnes. So like, you guys can read between the lines. I'm not going to elaborate what they were saying. But yeah, Monique saying, I agree on Bruno. Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, the boat has just sailed. I just think he's done. I mean, what is he going to do at this point? He can't make a team now. Just go and do really well down in South America, Bruno. Go home. Yeah, Skater Dylan's here. Do the Celtics have the deepest 1 through 6? Well, I don't think so. Here's some Celtics news since Skater Dylan's here. Robert Williams is getting surgery this week on his knee. It's a cleanup surgery, as they say, but it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks while he's out. And that really means Robert Williams is going to miss the preseason and their training camp and part of the regular season to start in October. So yeah, that's not necessarily good for the Celtics in some ways. Like this seems similar to some of the things that were happening with the Raptors last season with Pascal not being available for the first bit of the season. Is similar with this. And this is really late in the summer for Robert to have this surgery. I'm wondering why he didn't have it already and get this cleanup done way before this. That maybe something flared up and caused more problems just more recently. And because we know that he was injured at the end of the season, and there was he missed some games right at the beginning of the playoffs. And that's the thing. So this isn't good for the Celtics that Robert Williams is getting a surgery this week on his left knee. And anyway, that's my little bit on that. In other dumpster fire news, let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, Skater Dylan's saying Brogdon to start or Horford. I don't know. I'm not going to look that deeply into your team. Basically, what I'll do is the day we play you guys, I'll look and see what you guys did in the last game, see who's been playing well, and see kind of like what your rotation looks like at that moment. But I'm not going to go do any deep analysis on the Celtics for a preseason or anything like that. When we finally play them, let's see where they are at that point. But yeah, Brogdon's an interesting pickup. I'm not very scared of him. We've handled him very well in different teams that he's been on in the East and stuff like that. G saying skate, bad news. Yeah, Williams. Yeah, I was just talking about that. It is a minor surgery, and Horford is a perfectly capable, good starter too. The thing about the Celtics is better than the Miami right now is they have more size. They actually have more size going into this year than they did last year. And that is an upgrade, I guess, for the Celtics roster that I'll say. And meanwhile, the Heat have lost size. So they're going to be very undersized and very much bully they're going to be bullied a lot. I really think that about Miami Heat this year. That people are going to bully them down in the paint a lot. Let's see. You swiped the text, so I got a few typos. That's okay. I can't wait till that first Raptors game. Yeah, I don't even remember when we play you guys. We have like you guys are at the end of our schedule. We play you guys twice right at the very last week of the season. So I'm not even sure when the first two games against you guys, they're spread out, and I think they're a little bit into the season and stuff like that. G saying apparently he did have meniscus surgery before this, and it's to clean it up. I may be wrong. That's exactly right, G. Well, he had the surgery at the end of the season before the playoffs, and then now they decide they got to clean something up now. Good morning, Canadian Cowboy. Ta-da! Get called Ta-da, the brothers Ta-da. They'll come and help you with your needs as far as remodeling, painting, window cleaning, carpet cleaning, all kinds of different services from the brothers Ta-da. Check out Ta-da in the phone book if you're in Toronto. Skater Dylan saying, have you seen how deep the free agent list is? Insane how many people haven't been picked up. Well, we got to remember that sometimes people age out this way. Like, is Carmelo going to be on a team? It may be that it's just his time, that it's like nobody wants to put a flyer on him. And that, a lot of these guys that are on that list are older players. And that this may be like kind of like, yeah, you've had your time and it's over and you're done and nobody's picking you up. And that's just how it is and stuff like that. It seems like Carmelo would really be able to help a team, but it may be also partly like what he's willing to take and from who, as far as money wise, and what people can realistically do to get him right now. I don't know. The thing with Carmelo doesn't make any sense to me because he does seem like he's somebody who could still play in the league. All right, let's see. Fun guy saying Horford scares me the most. He's a good defensive veteran who's underrated for that Boston team. Yeah, when he left and went to Philly for that little blip of time in between, that hurt the Celtics, and they realized what they missed in him, and they went back and got him. And they did kind of reacquire some of that stuff that he left with and came back. And Philly had it for a second, but it didn't really work in Philly. Al Horford was a pretty much a disaster in Philly. It didn't fit. That's what I'm saying. You can get good players and put them on your team, but they may not fit with who you have already existing. And that's why all these teams that just made big splashes with big acquisitions and trades this summer, I'm not going to believe in any of y'all until you prove it on the court for real. Whether you're Cleveland, Atlanta, or Minnesota, those are the three teams in particular. Now, I have a good feeling about Philly. Philly may have got some new players and stuff like that, but they already have a bit of a proven track record with some of these guys. And it's not like PJ Tucker and whatchamacallit, Montrezl Harrell are going to be hard to meld into their unit and stuff like that. But Rudy Gobert, that could be hard to meld into with the Timberwolves, or DeJounte Murray with Atlanta. He could be hard to meld into. Donovan Mitchell, that's the other one. Yeah. Let's see. Cowboys saying we're going to be the bullies of the league. I really think so. There's a chart that's out on Twitter in the last couple of days that has a positional rankings of wingspan. Which teams have the longest wingspan at each position? And the Raptors are number one at the 2, the 3, and the 4. We have the longest average wingspan at the shooting guard, the small forward, and the power forward. And that is really kind of a sign of just how overpowering and annoying we are on defense, that we have the highest average wingspan in the middle positions. And that, of course, makes sense with our roster construction. No problem, Cowboy. I'll do it every day. When you show up, I'll do it at least once. Dylan's saying specifically Blake Griffin can't find a job in the NBA. Well, Blake Griffin's washed. He's somebody exactly what I'm talking about. I believe that Carmelo can play in the league still, but Blake Griffin can't. Like, this man is playing like he's got ankle weights tied to him, like 200-pound ankle weights around his ankles. He just can't get off the ground at this point. He's very much a on-the-floor player. That you think about young Blake Griffin and just how he soared and how high up he got. He is nowhere near that. He's very much the opposite. It's like he's weighed down and he cannot get up or anything. So in some ways, he's very washed. And I think that that's part of the problem with Blake specifically. He's a wash player. I don't think he can play in the league anymore. Because the last couple of years in Brooklyn, it's really weird how he gets production or does anything. It's like he's very bad. Let's just put it that way. He's very bad. Maybe Portland. I don't know. I don't care which of the other teams. Maybe someone else pick him up for veteran leadership or something like that. Stash him at the end of the bench. But this dude's not a rotation player in the NBA at this point. I'll just say that about Blake Griffin. He just isn't. He's too old. Cowboys saying our bench is stacked. The bully bench. Yeah. Cheryl Griner saw Joe Biden thoughts. I don't know what. Oh, you're talking about how the wife of Brittany Griner finally met with Joe Biden, talking about Brittany being imprisoned over in Russia. So there's still stuff happening, whether it's Rodman saying he's going to go over there and help her, or Joe Biden is still trying to do stuff. They're trying to get her out of there and stuff like that. This here's something very interesting for y'all to think about right now. Right now, there's a problem with money for the Republican Party in the United States. They're running out of funds. They cannot take care of things. And part of it is because Russia's out of money. Russia is absolutely out of money because of this war that they tried to do in Ukraine, and they've been retreating and losing in the last couple of weeks, and because they're out of money. Now, think about this: why is the Republican Party out of money at the same time as the Russian government is out of money? Think about that. And that'll tell you a lot, because some people have said that Donald Trump has been a Russian asset for Russia on deep cover since 1987. That he's actually been a spy and somebody working towards something in the United States for Russia for decades. And that he has been a very successful Manchurian candidate and espionage agent for Putin and the Russians over there. Now, that's what I'm saying. The GOP all of a sudden has a money problem in the US, and Russia has a money problem all of a sudden. Maybe Russia was funding the GOP this whole time. And this is part of the problem why there's a money drain for both sides, whether it's Russia, the country, or that party in the States right now. And think about this: if they're funding the GOP, don't you think they're funding the Conservative Party here in Canada also? Yeah, I'll bet you money they are. That there is funding from the Russians for the Conservative Party, the PC Party here in Canada. I'll bet you money that's true. G saying good wingspan stat. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's that scared skater Dylan. Yeah, it's a really cool box, and there's all ones in the middle. One, 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 right in the middle. I love that. I don't know how to find it on there, G. It's like just basically a basic Excel spreadsheet with all the teams and numbers for where they rank throughout the league and stuff like that for that. All right, guys. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. There's one more thing I do want to bring up. Russell Westbrook's wife has posted a message on social media, and it says a lot about the Lakers dumpster fire and actually what's going on over there. It says basically bottled water can be $1 at a supermarket, $3 at the gym, $5 at the movies, $6 on a plane, $10 on vacation. Same water. Only thing that changed its value was the place that you bought it. So the next time you feel your worth is nothing, maybe you're at the wrong place. This is Russell Westbrook's wife on social media yesterday. Okay, so let's just see how this is going to work out. I can already see Russell is the part that needs to probably get shipped out. And she's probably right. He would do way better on another team because he does not fit with LeBron. But they were trying to go in the season with him on the team. That's what I'm saying. The Lakers are still a dumpster fire. They can paint a rosy picture in all kinds of different ways. They still have problems. And just wait until Anthony Davis gets hurt for the first time of the season. Just see how it all unravels right after that. Oh my gosh. So crazy. So Monique's saying, I'm still smiling for Larry Tannenbaum. Yeah, this is a big deal that he's the regent, the head of the owners, basically, and the governor of the NBA and stuff like that. That this is a very high position and a lot of responsibility Larry Tannenbaum has been in for a few years now. He's been doing this position for like 5 years. And they've done a good job. So Larry Tannenbaum has been reelected unanimously to be the NBA governor for the owners and stuff like that. Very, very good. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, Yowza, Russell looked concerned watching Pat B's presser. Listen, I'm telling you, they got Patrick Beverly and Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. I really do like this Three Stooges metaphor that I made up the other day. It's like Pat Beverly is Mo, and Russell Westbrook's Curly, and Dennis Schroeder is Larry. And just think about that Three Stooges dynamic with those guys there. Yeah. Let's see. G saying Russell is a good, useful player. What the media and Laker Nation is doing is crazy, as if everything is his fault. Yeah, I can get behind this in some ways. And Scotty has said this himself that he stood up for Russell. He can't understand how people are so dissing him and so wrong to him. This is similar to what we were just talking about with Heat Nation and Lowry. That they will turn on somebody like this. They want to take it out on someone for being a failure. And they don't want to take it out on LeBron, even though they do. Some of them do take it out on LeBron. But for the most part, they're going to focus on the other guys, whether it's Davis or a really easy target's Westbrook, especially because Westbrook lashes out and engages with the fans, whether it's at the game, talking to them, or even social media kind of stuff. But yeah, that's part of the dumpster fire of the Lakers and their Laker Nation is that the fans are part of the problem for the Lakers team getting better also. Because it's very similar to Knicks Nation. They want it so bad that they're super critical and super touchy. As soon as failure starts to happen, they get on them and stuff like that. So very interesting. Tom Duke saying no one talks about A. Davis anymore. I believe his absence is a huge factor. A. Davis is an MVP caliber, but nothing if he doesn't play. I don't believe that anymore. I don't think he's an MVP caliber. I don't think he's one of the top 25 players in the league. I think that he is somebody totally different than he was when he played for New Orleans. That I hate how they overhype him. Like it's really is a what have you done for me lately kind of thing with Anthony Davis and me. It's like I love the player when he played for the Pelicans. I thought he was overpowering and really was one of the top 5 players in the league at that point. But since he's come to the Lakers, he has plummeted out of that ranking. I'm sorry. He may not even be a top 50 player in this league. And some people may think I'm crazy for saying that. But I go by what is showing up and playing on the court. And this dude is ineffectual. This guy doesn't show up when the chips are down and things are problems, stuff like that. He will fade and go away. So I don't think he has like a certain eye of the tiger I've talked about recently that some players have and some players don't. I don't think he has that eye of the tiger. I think that he is very much just kind of a nice, easygoing guy. And that he lacks a certain cutting edge that the best players in the NBA have and stuff like that. So Tom Duke saying should be in his prime at 29 years old. Yeah, no, he plays like he's 39 years old to me in some ways. Like it's seriously, it's weird. I don't know if he's scared of getting hurt. Like there's this weird clip of him playing. I don't know if it's even real, but there's a clip of him supposedly playing 2K and he's playing as himself and he hurts himself in the game and he rolls over and gets hurt. I don't think it's a real clip. I think they spliced it together. But I'm just saying I'm not on that train, and everybody tries to give these accolades to him. Like I don't even think he's a top 50 player of all time or top 75 player like they said with the top 75 last year. I didn't think he deserved to be on that list. And so there's a lot of I have a lot of problems with how a lot of the NBA media and people gauge and rate him down south. It's a totally different time. You know, like to me, in some ways, he's a lot like DeMarcus Cousins. They were both badasses in New Orleans, and then they left, and they kind of their careers went downhill ever since after that. Let's see, Tom. That's because AD's injury prone. Yeah, he's injury prone. I can't get behind him. I really can't. Let's go Coloco from Bradley. And Tom Duke saying, I agree, and not a fan of his. Yes, I like having Coloco instead. Yeah, Coloco could do a lot of the similar things. Not the same level of player. Don't get me wrong, but he is the same kind of frame in some ways as far as the length. And some of those things are really like going to be badass for us with Coloco. All right, I'm gonna finish up, guys. So check out the Raptors Uprising Gaming Club that Fanta season playing with Scotty Barnes last night. I'm not sure if he left the stream up. He's not doing that lately, where he'll stream for like a couple hours, but then he doesn't leave it up for anybody to watch later. It could be that he's just capturing the video for himself to be able to put the content up as he wants through his Scotty Barnes live YouTube channel. And check that channel out. It's so good. If you haven't started following it or subscribing to it, definitely subscribe to Scotty Barnes Live because he is dropping more content on that channel than the other channel where he put his vlog up, the last 2 vlogs and stuff like that. And also subscribe to me, please, please, please. That is very helpful to me also and stuff like that. So just one more note before I go. Oh, wait, whoa. Hey, guys. It's me, Justin Bieber. And I just want to let you guys all know that Team Canada ladies are playing tonight at 11 p.m. in Australia against the Serbia. There's also games against France, Japan, Australia, and Mali, all coming up. But these are for real Team Canada fans because they're all games at like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., stuff like that. So if you really want to watch Team Canada, you can stay up late night with me, Justin Beaver, and watch Team Canada ladies slay it down under. Oh, yeah. All right. And by the way, Christian Coloco and Alexi are my sons. Let's go